know how Krishna uses his tactics to kill all of them. But he says, all these have been killed, they've all been killed by me, so you don't unnecessarily worry, don't get worked up by their presence. You fight the war, win the war, along with your enemies, along with your people, kill all the enemy, do your duty. That's all Krishna is trying to tell. Even the most difficult challenges I have taken care of. You just be an instrument. Then Sanjaya says, Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Kritanjalir Vepamana Kiriti. But Arjuna is shivering still, because the form is not over, the vision is not over. Krishna is speaking, Arjuna is understanding in some way, but the form is still that fearful form. So what does Arjuna do? He's shivering, Vepamanaha. And with folded hands, he's standing like a scared disciple. And what he says, Namaskritva Bhuya Eva Krishnam Sadgadgadam Bhita Bhita Pranamya. With a kind of a trepidation and overwhelming feelings, he is holding hands and doing namaskara and to Krishna. He's bowing down in front of Krishna's that glorious form. This is how it says, and Arjuna finally realizes who Krishna is. Now Arjuna speaks and says, Tomadi Deva Purusha Puranam. You are the ultimate, the very beginning of everything. Adi Deva, the first God who appeared. You are a Purusha, you are Purana, the ancient one. Tamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. You are the support of the entire universe. Vettasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwam Anantarupa. You are the one who has to be known. You are the knower also of that known. You are both. You are the knowledge, you are the known, you are the knower. Everything is you only. This I have realized. And you are the Vishwam Anantarupa. You are the ultimate infinite cosmos. This whole Vishwa is you only. This I have realized now. So what he does, he goes on praising him and bowing down in front of him, praying to him, and finally he apologizes. This is a very sweet shloka. Please pay attention to this. He says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti. By considering you as my friend, I did not know that you are such a big godhood, personality of the supreme godhood. I thought you are my friend. And in those times, thinking you as my friend, prasabham yadukta, if I spoken unnecessarily, unwantedly, out of turn, how I've called you, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakha, come here. I've spoken to you like this. I should have never taken your name. I should have spoken to like what Jagan Nivasa, Vishweshwara, Vishwaroopa. This is how I should have spoken to you. But I have spoken to you, hey Krishna, come here, hey Yadava, sit here, hey Sakha, do this for me. I have spoken like this to you. He says, Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam. I did not know your glory. Therefore I have spoken like this. Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi. Out of either my foolishness or out of love for you as a friend. I have sometimes ridiculed you, scolded you, fought with you, spoken unnecessary things. Yatcha vahasartha, making fun of you also. Hasya, I made fun of you. How? Asat krutosi, and that was not in good taste. It was not honorable thing to do to you. But I have done this. When vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu, while I was vihara means roaming around with you. Shayya means they were friends while we were lying down together. Or while I was sitting with you, asana or bhojaneshu, while eating with you, many times I have spoken to you in a way which was not really nice. Now I realize this. So what do I want from you? Eko thavapyachuta tat samaksham tat kshamaye tvamaham aprameyam. I might have spoken to you in private or in public also like this, sometimes about you or to you. For all these things, please forgive me. He is telling to Krishna. Arjuna is telling like this. You know how many times we scold God, you tell me. How many times we ridicule him. How many times we speak of him in a not nice way when we don't get what we want. But as I said, the biggest sin that we commit is not to forget Krishna, but forget our own divinity. That is insult to that divinity within us. See, Arjuna is saying, I forgot Krishna, that you are the supreme being. I spoke unnecessarily, I did things unnecessarily. Now please forgive. But truth is what? We ourselves forget our divinity every day. Is it not insulting the divine within us? Is it, or we say, think or do things which is not in accordance with our divine nature? Is it not kind of, doing wrong to the divinity? Should we not apologize to that divine who is within? Vihitam avahitam va sarvame takshamasva. Jai Jai Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambhu. Forgive us for all that. We do all unnecessary things. And biggest sin we commit is we forget we are divine and we behave in a way other than our divine nature. That is how Arjuna forgets who Krishna is. That is how we forget who we truly are. That is the deeper significance of it. And then very sweetly Arjuna says, Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam ahamisha medium piteva putrasya sakheva sakyuh priyah priyayah arhasi deva sodhum. Oh dear Krishna, you are very kind. Therefore I fall flat. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam. Full sashtanga pranam I am doing to you, Krishna. Because never he did that before to Krishna. Always, a friend, he'll put his hand around, walk together, pinch him, all kinds of things, fight with him. But first time he's full flat in front of Krishna. And saying what? Prasadaye, please become happy with me. Forget all the wrong things that I've done, Past is past, forget the past. Because Ahamisha medium, you are the worshipable Ishvara himself. I realize that now. Please don't be upset with me. How you should forgive me? Piteva putrasya. Like a father forgives his erring son. Sakheva sakyuhu. Like a good friend forgives his friend who's gone astray. Or priya priyaya. Like a lover forgives his beloved. A husband forgives his wife. Like that, please bear with me and forgive me too. Like that Arjuna is putting. This is the sweet relation between Krishna and Arjuna. See, on one side Vishwaroopa Darshana is going on. Other side Arjuna also remembers him that Krishna is like my father, my friend, my everything, my Priyatama, my beloved. I was reading somewhere that when Arjuna would go to Krishna in Dwaraka, all Krishna's wife will tell, that's it. For 2 months, we are not going to see Krishna's face. Arjuna has come, full time Krishna will be going with Arjuna everywhere. He won't even check on us. This is how the wives would lament. That so fond of Arjuna, Krishna was. And so also was Arjuna fond of Krishna. That was their beautiful relation. And he goes on to say, Adrishta purvam harshitosmi drishtva. I have seen this which I have never seen before, something you have shown me today that I have never seen before. I am very happy about it. But at the same time, bhayena cha pravyathitam manome. I am also scared of this form of yours, which is so overwhelming. So what do? Tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagannivasa. So Jagannivasa, please show me your previous normal form only. I am happy with it. Don't show me this Vishwaroopa darshanam. I can't take it. Those teeth and the fire and all that. Please go back to the nice. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I am very happy you showed me something that I have never seen before. At the same time, please become happy. From Ugda Rupa, become the Prasanna Rupa. And now show me your previous form. Previous form is as you were Krishna. And he goes on to say that I pray to you to show me that 4-handed Vishnu form, he says here. He says, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtumaham Tathaiva Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte. Become that 4-handed Vishnu Rupa, because that is my Aradhya Devata. So please show me that form. Don't show me these 1,000 hands and all these things. I'll be very happy with that. When Vivekananda wanted Ramakrishna Paramhamsa to give him the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, whatever, Ramakrishna Paramhamsa simply, with his foot touched on his chest like that. Because Vivekananda was arguing with Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. Ramakrishna was saying everything is divine. So Vivekananda starts saying, you think this pot and pan and this book and the cupboard, everything is divine? He says, yes, everything is divine. I don't agree. So our Ramakrishna Paramhamsa just touches his chest with the toe of his feet. And immediately Vivekananda, transcends the mind and is lost in trance. And that lasts 3 days, it seems. He can't eat, he can't think. Everything, whole world has disappeared in front of his eyes. So he doesn't know how to behave. Then he comes and prays. What have you done to me, Thakur? What have you done to me? Please bring back to me a normal state. I have father, I have mother, I have a family. I have to take care of all of that. Please don't put me in this transcendental stage. I can't take it anymore. Same experience of Arjuna. Please take back this. Because he has not earned it, see. When you have done sadhana and earned this experience, you will be able to handle that experience. When you have not done sadhana and it has come to you like by Guru's grace or by Krishna's compassion, you can't bear it. That's why many people say, give me Brahma Jnana. I tell them, see, if a high voltage current passes through a low capacity wire, what's going to happen to the wire? It will get burnt. You are not ready for it. Or water is poured into a pot which has not been baked or dried properly. The pot will break. Likewise, this body and our mind cannot take that experience of divinity unless we have done sadhana and earned it. See here, Arjuna has not earned it. He says, I don't think I'm deserving, but just in case if you can be compassionate to show me. Krishna says, here, have a glimpse. He says, no, enough. I don't want it anymore. Likewise, this Brahma Jnana, whatever we call about, is a high energy thing. And then Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Maya prasannena tavarjunedam rupam param darshitam atma yoga. Through atma yoga I have shown you this darshana. Which darshana? This Vishwaroopa darshana to you. Okay. And out of my prasannena, because I am happy with you, I love you, I wanted you to experience this, so I have given you this darshana. Tejo mayam vishwam ananta madhyam yanme tvad anyena na drishtapurvam. Other than you, nobody has seen this before you. You are the first person to see this Vishwaroopa of mine. How I have shown you out of my fondness for you, because I am happy with you. You are asking the right questions. You are being a good devotee and disciple. You are getting ready to follow my command. So, being happy with you, I have shown you something. This darshan nobody has had before you. You are the first. And he also says, Na Veda Yajna Yajnadhyayanena Dane. By Veda, Yajna or Adhyayanas of all these kinds of Dana, Punya, you can't get this vision. Many people think, what can I do to get this vision? Nacha kriyabhi na tapobhi rugraihi. By constant rituals, kriya, or by severe austerities, ugra tapaha. By severe austerities also you can't get this vision. Evam rupaha shakya aham nriloke drishtum tvad anyena kuru pravira. O Kuru Pravira, oh Prince, nobody else has seen this before you. In this Naraloka, nobody has seen. Maybe Devaloka people have seen. In Naraloka, you are the first person to see this vision. And nobody, even by Vedadhyana, by Jnana, by Tapas, by Kriyas, nobody can get this vision. This is a special grace that I have shown you. And therefore, but you got scared. So don't worry. Mate Vyatha. Don't you worry anymore. Don't you get scared. Vyapeta pritamanaha punastvam. I am removing your fear out of my love for you, and I want to make your mind calm and peaceful again. Tradeva me rupamidam prapashya. So now I am withdrawing this form. Now you see my original form as I was with you. So that is how Krishna is so compassionate to Arjuna, that when he asks for that experience, he gives it. When he asks, I don't want to have it, he withdraws it also. Because he knows Arjuna cannot handle it. So, but he nevertheless creates an impression in Arjuna's mind as to who he truly is, and how Arjuna should behave and deal with Krishna with implicit obedience and complete surrender. This is what Krishna is wanting from Arjuna, right? That you obey what I say, surrender to my command. That is how we will be able to achieve this. And Arjuna says, Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanim asmi samvritaha sachetaha prakritim gataha. After seeing your nice, sweet form, smiling form, now I have come to my senses. Otherwise, I had lost my consciousness. I would have fainted in another moment. But you have been kind to restore my senses back to me by coming back to your normal Saumya form, not the Ugra form. He says, and then Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sudurdarsham idam rupam drishtvanasi yanmama. This form is very, very difficult to see. Sudurdarsham. Durdarsham means only difficult to see. Sudurdarsham. Very, very difficult to get this vision. Deva apyasya rupasya nityam darshana kakshinam. All the gods are also waiting, desirous of this divine vision. But unfortunately, they also don't get it. But you have got it. This is what I say. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Such a person who sees everything as divinity, such a person is very rare to find. The rarest of the rare such a person is. And so Vishwaroopa Darshanam is truly the Ekam, Darshanam of Ekam. The one who sees oneness in everything, that is the true Vishwaroopa Darshanam. So this Darshana is very rare to come by. Great yogis do tapas, but they don't get it. So he says, Naham vedaihi na tapasa na dane na cha ijjaya shakya evam vidho drishtum drishtvanasi mamyatha. What you have seen, this cannot be seen by dana, tapa, ijjaya, all kind of pujas. Nobody is capable of seeing this in this way that I have shown you. You are very lucky, Arjuna. You are very fortunate. That's what Krishna is trying to convey. Now, to whom much has been given, much is demanded. So Krishna has finished all these things. Now he is going to demand from Arjuna implicit obedience and surrender. That is all Krishna's master plan is. So I always say that with God, you are never sure what he is up to. His kindness is also to get you, to make you obedient. His rudeness is also to make you humble and obedient. All the time he is doing whatever he is doing to you to make you an obedient, surrendered devotee. And then Krishna himself answers, by Veda I can't get it, by Jnana I can't get it, by tapas or all these austerities I can't see this vision. Then how does one get to see this oneness in everything? And Krishna in the last verse or so he replies, Bhaktya tva anyaya shakya. By ananya bhakti, by devotion alone one is capable of having this vision of oneness. Ahamevam vidho Arjuna, this way, knowing me as the Supreme Lord and experiencing me, everything is possible only through bhakti, he says. And what says? Gyatum drishtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. In which way they will experience me? Gyatum, they'll come to know who I am. Not Sakha Yadava, but the great Supreme Lord Jagannivasa. Drishtum, they'll be able to see me in everything as the divine principle. And tatvena pravishtum, by completely understanding my principle, they will be able to enter me, he says. Enter me means they become engulfed by this experience. Like river becomes the ocean once it enters the ocean. Like that, once the devotee enters the divine, he becomes the divine. Yatha nadye chandamana samudre astam gachanti nama rupe vihaya tatha vidvan nama rupa vimuktaha parat param paramupaiti. So that is the idea. Purusha, he realizes that Purusha, once it loses name and form. How? Gyatum, drishtum, and tatvena pravishtum. These are 3 steps. We have this bhakti, no? Salokya, samipya, sarupya, and sayujya. I say when we join the hostel at 6th class, you are entering the salokya. Same as the Lord's abode. You have entered the abode. Then what happens next? Samipya. You develop dearness, not nearness. Dearness to the Lord. Samipyam. Once you become dear by obeying the Lord, you become sarupya. You become like the Lord. Kind, compassionate, humble, hardworking, sincere, devoted. So your qualities will start changing to match the qualities of the Lord. And finally, sayujya. You become one with the Lord. So I always say, 6th to 8th, salokyam. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, sa mipyam. Then in UG, PG, sarupyam, you become like me. And after PG, the moment you graduate, you should become sayujyam, one with the divine. So let us break it like that. All the schooling, put it as Salokyam. Then all the higher education schooling, Samipyam. University education, Sarupyam. And graduation, ultimate graduation is Sayujyam. That is how we must enter the Lord, in the sense, become one with the Lord. And he gives 5 qualities to end. What is the 5 qualities of Bhakta? Because from here we are leading to the next chapter, which is Bhakti Yoga, one of the sweetest chapter in Bhagavad Gita. But here finally he concludes, who becomes a true Bhakta? Mat karma krin mat parmo. The one who does everything for my sake. Why? Because he thinks I am the mat parma, I am the supreme most. I am the highest priority. I always say, make God your priority. God should be the one and the only priority, non-negotiable. Everything else will fall into place. Mat parama, the highest in my life is God. Above mother, father, friends and colleagues, I have to please God. That idea, if it's mat karma, then all your actions will start getting aligned to that idea that I have to please God. Mat bhaktaha, all the time he is doing bhakti to me. Bhakti means loves me from all the bottom of his heart. Doesn't love me only when I give things what the devotee wants, but loves me in spite of whatever happens to the devotee. Such bhakti. Sangha varjita, he is not attached to anybody. He is only attached to me. He may look like he is attached to everybody. He can be kind and nice to all, but ultimately he is only attached to me. He doesn't seek the company of others. Then nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. He has no enmity towards anyone. Such a person alone is my true devotee. And sa mameti Pandava. The one who is like that, he reaches me, O Pandava, O Arjuna. Why he is telling these qualities to Arjuna? Tell me how many of these qualities Arjuna is having right now? Mat karma he is not having. He is not wanting to fight the war when Krishna is telling fight for my sake. So he is slowly telling Arjuna, this is what you need to have to handle this vision. Mat paramo, consider me as the supreme. Not you are not fighting for Yudhishthira's sake, not to avenge the insult of Draupadi. You are fighting it for my sake. I am parama for you, ultimate. Mat bhakta, you have to love me from all your heart, despite whatever be the outcome. You may lose your son, kith and kin on a good side also, people will be dead. But then also you should love me. And sangha varjita, don't get attached to anything or anyone here. Just be attached to me. Drona, then Bhishma, then this side, his own other kith and kin. Don't do that, he is telling him. And nirvairaha sarvabhutesh. Even if you are fighting a war against Duryodhana, be nirvairaha. Don't have enmity towards them. Fight for the sake of establishing dharma, not because you are angry with Duryodhana, you want to take revenge. Imagine what kind of demands Krishna has put in front of Arjuna. I don't think Arjuna even realized it. Gave him a nice Vishwaroopa darshanam, scared him to death, and then told him, okay, fine, don't run away, I'll calm down. And then he says, gets Arjuna to surrender. I am so sorry for all the stupidity so far, but here onwards, please forgive me. I am surrendering to you. That is all I wanted. Now Arjuna, this is not enough. You have to become a good bhakta to me. What is that bhakta? You have to become nirvairaha. Even against Kauravas, you should not hold any grudges. You should not be angry. Imagine what demand that is. You have come to the battlefield to fight your enemies who have insulted you, harmed you, who have been so bad to you. And all this while, you are wanting to fight, and then you see your kith and kin, you don't want to fight. But then Krishna comes and says, you fight. You have to fight. Why? Because you have to fight for my sake, for the sake of dharma sthapana. You fight with complete dedication to me without any doership and enjoyership. You fight without attachment to your kith and kin, because both sides people are going to die. You fight without any enmity for the enemy. Then you are my devotee. Look at the standard of whatever the demand, the devotion that Krishna expects from us. Even to the enemy, we cannot be enemies. We have to be friend. This is what Bhakti Yoga will demand from us. He tells who are the true bhaktas and what are their qualities and how they should behave. So the most difficult part is, even to our enemy in the battlefield, you should not kill them with anger or enmity. See, Rama also killed Ravana, isn't it? But did he kill out of anger or did he kill out of dharma sthapana? He showed compassion only to Ravana. Krishna also killed so many people, left, right, center actually, since childhood. But did he do out of anger and grudge or frustration or revenge, or did he do out of compassion is the question. What was the attitude? So he's telling Arjuna, you are ready to follow my command, that's fine. You are ready to get rid of all the attachment to your kith and kin, that is fine. You now consider me as the most important person in your life, that is also fine. But if you have any feeling of enmity, it's not fine. This is what Bhakti Yoga is going to ask of us. In all situations, we have to be compassionate, kind, unperturbed, undisturbed. We should not have enmity, anger towards anybody, despite whatever they do to us. This is what is leading to Bhakti Yoga. So with this, Vishwaroopa Darshana Yoga comes to an end. But idea is that please think of Vishwaroopa Darshana as that form of the divine which we see in everyone. All things that are happening. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagata. All that we see, moving, inanimate, everything is divine only. This is Vishwaroopa Darshana. So that you do. Tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. That is what will happen to us. Our moha, shoka, everything will disappear. Why? Because we know there is only one, there is no two. So this is Vishwaroopa Darshana, to see the divine in everything in this universe, in every situation, pratibodha viditam. That is the idea of Vishwaroopa Darshana that we have to develop. And how we will develop that? Not by tapa, dhyana, jnana, all that. That is a method of preparation. But ultimately, we will be able to handle that only with bhakti. Pure bhakti. That is, Ramakrishna could handle that vision with bhakti. Vivekananda, with all his head and all his arguments, he couldn't handle that. So let us keep our heads aside for some time. Let us use our hearts and use it in a way that we have no enemy, ajat shatru, we are nirvairi. So this is the purity of bhakti. It doesn't hold malice, hatred, enmity for anyone. It will bless everyone. So that is what is going to be expected of in the next chapter. As and when I find time, I want to keep on talking about it between the travels. Whatever I am saying, please pay attention, go back, think deeply. Shrotavyam, mantavyam, nididhyasitavyam. That is what is gyatum, drishtum, pravishtum. Gyatum, shrotavyam, drishtum, let us say mantavyam. Because you are able to experience. Drishtam is not with eyes. In the mind, you are able to assimilate and understand. And pravishtum, tattvena pravishtum is nididhyasana. Do that and you will realize your divinity with these blessings. We will talk again in next about Bhakti Yoga.